Humiliation, a word that instantly makes us uncomfortable. But have you ever stopped to ask, who was the most humiliated person in the Bible? It's not just about embarrassment. It's about public shame, betrayal, rejection, and being stripped of dignity in front of others. And here's the shocking truth. The Bible doesn't hide these humiliating moments. Instead, it uses them to show us the rawest human struggles and God's power to turn shame into glory. If you want to discover how humiliation in the Bible reveals secrets about faith, endurance, and even your own life, then keep watching. And before we dive in, hit that subscribe button if you believe that understanding God's word deeply can transform your spiritual walk. Humiliation isn't just about embarrassment. In biblical times, humiliation often meant being stripped of honor, abandoned by family, rejected by community, or even mocked by enemies. In fact, the Hebrew and Greek words often used for humiliation, kalal and tapenu, carry meanings like to be despised, brought low, or dishonored. It wasn't just a bad day. It was the ultimate loss of human dignity. And here's the key. The Bible is filled with people who faced this reality, yet their humiliation became the stage for God's glory. Think about Job. One moment he was respected, wealthy, blessed with family and health. The next, everything was stripped away. Job was mocked by his friends, pitied by his community, and even misunderstood by his wife. People pointed at him and whispered, "This man must have sinned." He wasn't just suffering, he was publicly humiliated. But here's the twist. Job's humiliation became the very place where God revealed his power, restoring double of what was lost. It's as if humiliation wasn't the end, but the beginning of transformation. Then there's Hannah. She wanted a child desperately, but year after year, she was humiliated. Her rival, Peninnah, mocked her. Even in the temple, Eli the priest misunderstood her prayer and accused her of being drunk. Imagine the weight of that humiliation, crying out to God while being accused, ridiculed, and silenced. But Hannah didn't give up. Her humiliation birthed her greatest prayer, and eventually, her greatest blessing, Samuel, the prophet, who would anoint kings. Her story tells us this. Sometimes, humiliation is the soil where destiny grows. Few prophets suffered like Jeremiah. He was beaten, thrown into a pit, mocked, and even accused of betraying his own people. His prophecies of judgment made him an outcast. At one point, Jeremiah cried out, "I became a laughingstock all day long. Everyone mocks me." Jeremiah 27. His humiliation wasn't just emotional, it was national. He carried shame so that God's truth could be heard, even when no one wanted to listen. David, the giant slayer, the king, the man after God's heart, also faced humiliation. When his own son Absalom betrayed him, David was forced to flee Jerusalem barefoot, weeping, with people cursing and throwing stones at him. The mighty king was reduced to a humiliated fugitive. And yet, in that humiliation, David learned humility before God. His psalms reveal a man who turned shame into songs of worship, proving that humiliation can transform into intimacy with God. But now we reach the ultimate. Who was the most humiliated in the entire Bible? It wasn't Job. It wasn't Jeremiah. It wasn't David. It was Jesus. Think about it. The Son of God, stripped naked, mocked with a crown of thorns, spat upon, beaten, and crucified like a criminal. The very people he came to save laughed at him as he hung on the cross. This wasn't just death. It was public humiliation in the worst form. And yet the Bible tells us, for the joy set before him, he endured the cross, despising the shame. Hebrews 12:2. Jesus turned the deepest humiliation into the greatest victory. His shame became our salvation. So what about you? Maybe you've faced humiliation in your family, at work, in relationships, or even in your spiritual journey. The Bible shows us something powerful. Humiliation is not the end. It can be the very place where God begins to lift you up. Job was restored. Hannah was blessed. Jeremiah was remembered. David was exalted. Jesus was glorified above every name. And you? Your humiliation may one day be your testimony. Let's recap the truths hidden in these stories. Humiliation tests faith. It strips away pride and exposes what's real. Humiliation grows endurance. Like Hannah, it births deeper prayer. Humiliation reveals destiny. Like David, it positions us for greater calling. Humiliation magnifies God. Like Job, it shows God's restoring power. Humiliation leads to glory. Like Jesus, it transforms into eternal victory. So let me ask you, who do you relate to the most? Job's loss, Hannah's ridicule, Jeremiah's rejection, David's betrayal, or Jesus' ultimate humiliation? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if this video opened your eyes to the hidden power behind humiliation in the Bible, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and share this with someone who might be walking through shame right now. Because here's the truth: humiliation is not your end. It may be the very beginning of God's greatest work in your life.